More than 25% of Arizona teachers claim to have at least one second job in order to financially survive with bills and the overwhelming student debt. Arizona teachers earn $8,000 less than the national average. An Arizona starting teacher makes $12,000 less than the national average for a Costco worker. Pamela Frances, a charter school history teacher, explains her struggle to make ends meet. This is her story.
I teach at the Learning Foundation of Performing Arts in Gilbert, the charter school that we do from 7 to 12. This is my fourth year teaching full-time, and then I taught for part-time for a year after I graduated. My teaching was always my dream job. I actually knew I wanted to be a teacher very early, in 9th grade actually. I had a history teacher who just made it different than any other teacher had. And just really made me appreciate it. And so, it kind of came before that. I was like, I want to teach things like math or Spanish. And I realized I didn't like those things. But I really loved history. And so in going and graduating and going to college, it was always my end goal. I kind of did it unconventionally, but I got there. What mostly attracted me to the teaching profession was basically how the subject was able to come alive for me in that class when I was being taught, and how I developed a love for history that I never had. And I saw teachers interacting with students and how they were able to help them. And so it's always done it for me, is having an impact on somebody else's life and being the type of teacher who can help a student not just within the coursework, but also help balance their life. So that's always been kind of a thing for me, and being able to be a part in somebody else's growth and experiences and what impact I can have on them. When I started working there, and the first year was great. I got a raise. It wasn't much, but it was able to help me transition from, I was still living at home because I couldn't make enough. When I first moved back, because I went to school in Boston, so then I moved back here and I ended up living with my parents for about a year. And so they were able to give me a raise that year, but then they announced that they weren't able to give a raise the subsequent year. And it kind of made me start to fear in terms of being able to develop in self-sustainability. And I got it to help supplement. And, school debt is always a worry every month. And so I wanted to see what I could supplement in there so that I can try to make sure that I was keeping on top of everything. I work, aside from teaching, I work at Athleta at the mall. So I work there part-time. I roughly work about 10 hours a week. And then I do some side jobs, trying to sell makeup or help people and do things for them to try to make a little extra money on the side. I want to stay in the teaching profession because there is still that desire to do something. And I'm seeing other teachers around, and it's not that every teacher isn't perfect. I'm not perfect, and it's not that I expect teachers to be perfect, but I see that, even in our school, there's some teachers who are lacking a little bit in professionality in that relationship with the student, and so I want to stay in teaching because it is something I've worked really hard to get to. I went into debt to become a teacher, to try to get the best training possible. And I feel like this is something I've always wanted to. So there's a little bit of it where it's the commitment part of me, where I'm like, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I've committed to. And so I'm wanting to stay into it almost in a stubborn aspect, but also because I feel that I'm a teacher that I can help the profession. And so I want to continue to do that. And there's the good days where you really see where you're making an impact on a student's life, and it kind of drives you to keep going.